So now, speaking of reading question stimuli and versus question stems, there's been some debate over different test prep providers on which you should do first. So are you someone who suggests that they read the question stem first or the paragraph first?
That's a great question. I'll preface this by saying that I don't think it really matters that much which one you read first.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I was studying and back when I took the exam and got my 175, I actually read stimulus first.
Mm-hmm.
But over the years, I've actually changed my approach where now I read the question stem first.
Mm-hmm.
I like question stem first because it gives you a unique perspective and the correct perspective from which to view the stimulus. I've talked earlier about arguments containing a gap. Is it a small gap or is it a big gap? And I said LSAC tells you. They tell you the correct way to view it based on the question stem. If they're saying it's a flaw question or the stimulus is vulnerable to criticism, they're saying we should view the argument's gap as being enormous and not give the arguer the benefit of the doubt. On the other hand, when you have an argument, like a question that's like necessary assumption, they're saying there is an assumption, there is a gap, but we are giving kind of like the principle of generosity. We're extending that towards the arguer and saying they didn't fail to consider this. They just didn't bother to explicitly state this. Now, obviously, there are questions that are stimuli that are fundamentally flawed, but there are some where the gap, there's kind of shades of gray as to whether it's crossing the line into being unreasonable or not. I'm thinking back to, I didn't go to law school, but I know that you did. So maybe you're familiar with in freedom of speech, we have this idea of like, what would incite someone to violence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speech would incite someone to cross the line and commit a violent act. It's based on this reasonable person standard. But who's to say who the reasonable person is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's open to interpretation. It's open to debate. And so I think that LSAC's perspective in the question stem tells us how we should look at it. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.